Age of Aisha at time of marriage. The 6-year-old bride is the shameful belief as depicted in the Bukhari hadith that the messenger married Aisha when she was 6 years old and he consummated the marriage when she was 9. According to the scholars, for this to happen at 9 she would have started her periods and technically she would be grown up. Marriage in the Quran is a contract between two people, hence the need for 3 witnesses, and a contract can only be agreed to if you are of sufficient mental and physical maturity to understand what you are doing. The father or guardian signing this does not count. To say that our beloved messenger married a child takes the ignorance of the scholars to a despicable low level. It has given ammunition to the enemies of Islam to accuse him of being a paedophile. And if you hate this as much as I do, then ask yourself what the alleged marrying of a 6-year-old is then. There is no wisdom in this act and definitely no basis in the Quran either. I give credit to this statement from Ibn al-Qayyim, who said, "Verily, the law Sharia is founded upon wisdom and welfare for people in this life and the hereafter. In its entirety it is justice, mercy, benefit and wisdom. Every matter which abandons justice for tyranny, mercy for cruelty, benefit for corruption and wisdom for foolishness is not a part of the law, even if it was introduced therein by an interpretation." Unfortunately, as all my videos demonstrate, we have devoid of wisdom scholars making up nonsense and the majority blindly following it. So Ibn al-Qayyim's statement is falling on deaf ears. In scholarly Islam, fasting, salat and the acts of worship become compulsory once the person reaches the age of puberty, and for girls this is at the time she starts her period. We also have age of majority. This is the age at which a person is granted by law the rights as ability to sue and responsibilities as liability under contract of an adult. There is some consensus regarding the age at which girls reach mental maturity, as the Hanafi and Ithna Ashari schools state that girls younger than 9 years old are minors and the age of majority occurs at the age of 15. The Shafi'iyya and Hanbali schools mostly share this, and the Maliki school holds the belief that the age of majority is reached at 18 years of age. So the scholars do know about physical and mental maturity at upwards of 18 years old to be able to run one's own affairs, though they ignore this when it comes to ancestral child marriage, hadith and sunnahs, which they blindly accept. The Aisha hadith must be accepted, as to do away with one falsehood risks the collapse of the hadith house of cards, and this is not conceivable in their indoctrinated thinking. Husband with Bukharian mulagad 2 wives. This is what they are telling us. The marriage contract. Here is what the Quran has to say about marriage, which is a solemn covenant and is required before any physical relations can take place.
And how could you take the marital gift back from her after you have lived intimately with each other and after she has taken from you a very solemn pledge of the marital contract?
A solemn pledge means exactly that, a covenant between the man and woman to live as husband and wife with all the rights and obligations that go with it. The marriage contract provides a strong bond which both must be able to understand and agree to. The Quranic age of maturity. The Quran says that marriage is only when you have reached mental as well as physical maturity, old enough to make the right decision for oneself.
Train and educate the orphans well. When they reach the age of marriage and attain sound judgment, release their property to them. The marriageable age shall mean attainment of physical and mental maturity when one can express free consent and make a solemn, legal contract.
Rashdan, sound judgment. From root Re Sheen Dal, we get Ar-Rashid, one who shows the right way, and also a person who can judge things rightly or whose estimates can reach their climax without any help or failure. Aisha was neither physically nor mentally mature to make a life-changing decision of a marriage at 6 years young, and as we are so often told the messenger was a walking Quran, then how could he not understand the above verse? We also have the following, which he did not ignore either, as he did not marry a child, but those that made up this obscenity did not know or ignored them, and anyone reading the Quran just passes over as they use it for blind recitation and not for educating. Marry women, never females. Yes, the Quran throughout says to marry women and never girls or females.
Also forbidden to you are women who are already married, except those women who have sought asylum with you against their disbelieving husbands at war with you.
Nisa, women. Contradicting hadith. I am not using this as evidence as I reject all hadith, but it is not surprising to find that from all the hadith tales and the history of Islam that there are contradictory ages of Aisha at marriage. Depending on the source, it can be shown that Aisha was 16, 19, 21 or 48 years old when she married. For example, Aisha's elder sister Asma was given a report that she was 10 years older than Aisha and that Asma was 31 when Aisha got married. Mishkat Sheikh Wali ad-Din Abi Abdullah Muhammad bin Abdul Khatib wrote in his book Akmal fi Asma al-Rijal. Asma is the daughter of Abu Bakr Siddiq. She is the mother of Abdullah bin Zubayr. When Islam came to Mecca, it is said that only 17 people accepted it. Asma was 10 years older than Aisha. Asma's son Zubayr's body was buried after he was murdered, and after 10 or 20 days Asma bin Abu Bakr died at age 100. At this time it was 73 Hijri. Lots of people have reported this. If Asma's age at death was 100, then her age at Hijrah was 27, and because Aisha was 10 years younger than Asma, at Hijrah Aisha's age would have been 17. As she was married 2 years after Hijrah, then she was married when she was 19 years old. And which one do the Jahil scholars stick with? The Quran Unchained.